It was supposed to be our perfect Saturday morning, the kind we used to dream about when we first moved in together. Coffee, brewing sunlight, streaming through the kitchen window. Sarah humming while she made breakfast. I loved watching her move around our kitchen like she owned every corner of it, like she belonged there with me forever or so. I thought she was different that morning, restless, checking her phone every few minutes, smiling at messages I couldn't see when I fagged. Asked who was texting her so early. She shrugged and said work stuff. But it was Saturday, and Sarah never worked. Weekends never answered work. Calls never even checked her email until Monday morning rolled around. Something cold settled in my clay-stained stomach, but I pushed it down. Told myself I was being paranoid, jealous for no reason. We'd been together 3 years, lived together for 1. Everything was good. Everything was right, wasn't it? Later that afternoon, while she was at the gym, or claimed to be, her phone rang on the coffee table where she'd forgotten it. The caller ID made my blood freeze. David, her ex. The one she swore meant nothing anymore. The one she promised she'd never speak to again. I didn't answer it, obviously, but my hands shook as I set it back down exactly where she'd left it. When she came home, her hair wasn't even damp. No gym smell, no workout glow, just the faint scent of cologne that wasn't mine. "Hey, babe," she said, kissing my cheek like nothing had changed. But everything had changed. I could feel it in the way she avoided my eyes, the way her kiss felt hollow, the way she immediately grabbed her phone and disappeared into the bathroom. I became a detective in my own relationship, watching her every move, listening to her lies. They came so easily now. Staying late at work, helping her sister move, visiting her sick grandmother, excuses that might have been true once but now felt rehearsed, practiced, like she'd been saying them to herself in the mirror. I wanted to confront her, demand the truth, but part of me was terrified of what I'd find. Part of me still hoped I was wrong, that my imagination was running wild, that the woman I loved hadn't become a stranger sleeping next to me every night. The breaking point came on a Tuesday. She thought I was working late, but my meeting got canceled. I came home early with flowers, stupid romantic gesture, hoping to surprise her, to reconnect, to maybe fix whatever was breaking between us. House was quiet. Too quiet. I called her name, no answer. Her car was in the driveway, her purse on the counter, but no Sarah. I walked upstairs, and that's when I heard them voices from our bedroom. Our bed. The bed where she whispered she loved me every night, where we planned our future, where she promised me forever. I didn't burst in, didn't scream, didn't make a scene. I just stood there listening to her laugh, the same laugh she used to say for me, listening to her say his name, the way she used to say mine, listening to the sound of everything we'd built crumbling around me. I walked back downstairs, sat on the couch we'd picked out together, and waited. 20 minutes later, she came down alone, hair messy, shirt wrinkled, looking guilty as hell. She saw me sitting there with the flowers still in my hand, and her face went white as paper. "Baby?" she started, but I held up. My hand stopped her mid-sentence. "How long?" I asked, my voice surprisingly steady considering my world was ending. She didn't answer, just stared at me like I was the one who'd done something wrong. "How long, Sarah?" She opened. Her mouth closed it. Opened it again. 6 months, she whispered, and something inside me died. 6 months of lies. 6 months of pretending. 6 months of me thinking we were happy while she was planning her escape with him. "Did you ever love me?" I asked. And she started crying. Said, "Of course she did." Said it was complicated, said she. Never meant for it to happen, but complicated isn't an excuse, and meaning for it to happen doesn't make it hurt less. She begged me to listen, to understand, to forgive her. Said she'd end it, said she'd choose me, but you don't choose someone after betraying them for half a year. You already made your choice, Sarah, I said, standing up. You made it 6 months ago. I went upstairs, packed a bag while she followed me around our bedroom, crying, apologizing, making promises she should have made months ago. I took only what I needed. Clothes, laptop, some books, left everything else behind, including the engagement ring. I'd been hiding in my sock drawer. The one I'd planned to give her next month on our anniversary. The future we'd never have now. She didn't try to stop me physically, but her words followed me down the stairs. Please don't do this. We can work through this. I love you, but love doesn't lie for 6 months. Love doesn't sneak around. Love doesn't replace you with someone else. While pretending everything is fine, love doesn't break your heart while smiling at you across the breakfast table. I stayed at my brother's place for 2 weeks, dodging her calls, ignoring her texts, deleting the voicemails without listening to them. She sent emails, wrote letters, even showed up at my office once, but I had nothing left to say to her. She'd said everything that mattered when she was with him. In our bed, in our home, in our life that she'd decided wasn't enough anymore. Moving into my own apartment felt like starting over at 35, learning to cook for one, sleeping in a bed that didn't smell like her betrayal, buying groceries without thinking about what she liked, learning to be alone again. After 3 years of being some nights were harder than others. Some nights I missed her so much it physically hurt. But then I'd remember the sound of her voice saying his name, and the missing would turn to something else relief. Maybe that I'd found out when I did that, I hadn't wasted another 6 months, another year, another lifetime on someone who thought love was optional. The hardest part wasn't the loneliness or the betrayal. It was realizing how long she'd been lying. How many times she'd looked me in the eye and smiled while planning to meet him. How many times she'd said, "I love you," while texting someone else. How many times she'd kissed me goodnight after spending the afternoon in his arms. Every memory felt poisoned, every happy moment contaminated by the knowledge that it was built on lies. I started therapy, not because I was broken, but because I wanted to understand how I'd missed the signs, how someone I trusted completely had fooled me. So completely Dr. Martinez was patient, kind, never made me feel stupid for not seeing what was right in front of me. She helped me realize that trusting someone isn't a weakness, that believing in love isn't naive, that Sarah's betrayal said everything about her character and nothing about mine. Slowly, very slowly, I started to heal. I joined a hiking group, made new friends, learned to enjoy my own company in ways I never had before. When you're betrayed like that, you have 2 choices. Let it make you bitter or let it make you stronger. I chose stronger. Not because I'm some kind of saint, but because bitterness would have meant she'd taken even more from me than she already had. 3 months after I moved out, she texted me one last time. "Heard you're doing well, hope you're happy, you deserve it." I stared at that message for hours, thinking about all the things I could say, all the ways I could hurt her back. The way she'd hurt me. But in the end, I just deleted it, blocked her number, and went back to building a life that didn't have room for people who mistake love for convenience, who think forever means until something better comes. 6 months later, I ran into David at the grocery store. Of all places, he looked uncomfortable, like he wanted to disappear into the cereal aisle. I almost felt sorry for him. Almost because if Sarah could lie to me for 6 months, betray someone who loved her unconditionally, what was she doing to him behind his back? Some people think the grass is greener on the other side, until they realize it's not grass at all. It's just better hidden weeds. A year later, I met Emily at a coffee shop. She was reading the same book I'd been carrying around for weeks. We started talking about it. Ended up talking for 3 hours about everything and nothing. She was beautiful. Yes, but more than that, she was present when she looked at me. I could tell she was actually seeing me, not thinking about someone else, not planning her next lie, not wondering if the grass was greener somewhere else, just being there with me completely. I told her about Sarah early on, not because I wanted sympathy, but because I believed in honesty, the kind Sarah never gave me. Emily listened without judgment, without trying to fix me, without making excuses for someone she'd never met. She just said, "I'm sorry that happened to you, and thank you for trusting me with it." That's when I knew she was different. That's when I started to believe in love again, not the desperate, clingy kind, but the secure, confident kind, the kind that doesn't need to hide or lie or betray. Sarah taught me something valuable, though not about love, but about myself. I'm stronger than I thought, braver than I believed, and worth more than someone who thinks I'll stay no matter what they do. She showed me that real love isn't about finding someone who will never hurt you. It's about finding someone who would never want to. Someone who sees hurting you as hurting themselves. Someone who chooses you every single day, not just when it's easy. Betrayal changes you fundamentally. You can't unknow what you know, can't unfeel what you felt, can't trust with the same naive confidence you had before. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. Now when someone shows me who they are, I believe them the first time. Now I know the difference between love and convenience, between commitment and comfort, between someone who wants to be with me and someone who just doesn't want to be alone. If you're reading this because someone betrayed you, because someone you trusted broke your heart, because someone you loved chose someone else, I want you to know it's not about you. It was never about you, it's about them, their character, their choices, their inability to be honest about what they want. It hurts like hell right now, and it will for a while, but you will survive this. You will heal, you will love again. And when you do, it will be better because you'll know what real love looks like. Real love doesn't hide. Real love doesn't lie. Real love doesn't make you question your sanity or your worth. Real love doesn't sneak around or make excuses or promise to change. After getting caught, real love chooses you. First, not as a backup plan, not as a safety net, but as the person they want to build a life with, the person they can't imagine living without, the person they would never risk losing. Don't give second chances to people who didn't value the first one. Don't fight for someone who won't fight for you. Don't accept crumbs from someone who gave someone else the whole meal. You deserve someone who sees you as their first choice, their only choice, their forever choice. Anything less than that isn't love. It's just someone settling for what's available while they wait for something better. Sarah settled for me while she waited for David to come back into her life. I was her placeholder, her backup plan, her safety net. And I'm grateful every day that I found out when I did that, I didn't waste more years on someone who saw me as optional, who thought my love was guaranteed, no matter how badly she treated it, who believed I'd always be there, waiting no matter how many times she chose someone else. The best revenge isn't getting back at someone who hurt you. It's building a life so good, so full, so authentic, that you forget they were ever part of it. It's becoming the person you were meant to be before they convinced you that you weren't enough. It's finding love that doesn't require you to diminish yourself to make room for someone else's lies. I don't think about Sarah much anymore. And when I do, it's with a strange kind of gratitude, not for the pain she caused, but for the strength. I discovered the clarity, I gained the standards, I learned to set. She taught me what I do. Won't accept what I won't, tolerate what I won't pretend is normal. In the name of keeping the peace, sometimes the greatest gift someone can give you is showing you exactly who they are, so you can decide if that's someone you want in your life. Emily and I have been together for 2 years now. We're talking about moving in together, buying a house, maybe starting a family. And for the first time in my life, I'm not afraid of the future. I'm not waiting for the other shoe to drop, not looking for signs of betrayal, not wondering if she's really where she says she is. Because when someone truly loves you, when someone chooses you completely, you don't have to wonder. You just know.